take my dog on a walk to record this next video. So in all my videos, it's about how to use a Mac for architecture and how Macs are great and all the things you can do with a Mac with architecture. But I want to give you some realistic ideas and let you know all the things that make a Mac not a good computer for architecture. Reason one, not many apps or programs are native to Mac, which means you have to boot into a separate part of your hard drive that you have partitioned that goes into Windows. So on all the Macs up until the M1 architecture, that was doable. Now it is not. But even when it was doable, it takes time. You have to kind of drop some things that you're doing on your Mac OS side and go into Windows OS. If you're like me, I like working in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all those programs. I like working on those in my Mac. So if it's getting close to a deadline and I'm working on my boards and I realize I don't have a render that I want and I need to add that render in, I have to save everything, close everything out, hop into my Windows side, so restart my computer, go into there, do my renders, save everything, wait till it uploads into my Google Drive so I can access it on my Mac side. Once it does, hop back over and start editing again. So reason one is not a lot of apps that are available for it and native. All right, reason two, I should have thought about this first before I started saying reason two. Reason two. So, can't start like that. Right there. I don't know if this is gonna affect the video or not. If I do this, I'll be squinting the whole time. Whew. Now that's looking right at the sun. Come on, Tanner. The sun rises and eats. Rises and eats. So reason two is just to future-proof it. So the reason I got my Mac was actually to future-proof my computer. In my opinion, Macs last a long time and they tend to have less issues or just tend to last longer. Gosh, he's distracting me. I'm trying to make a video. Doesn't he know I'm trying to make a video right now? Stealing the show, man. But it's not very future-proof for architecture, especially with them switching to the silicone architecture. It's kind of confusing. Macs just most likely won't be the most reliable future computers for architecture, and Windows will always be able to be used for architecture with the way that things are going. Reason number three, Macs are incredibly thin. And some of you may be thinking this is a good, like a reason to get a Mac, which for me it was. I like the low profile. I like the sleekness. I like the professional look of a MacBook Pro. And like, yeah, they look amazing. It's tough to find a Windows computer that can come close to looking as good. But is looking good a function? Is it something that's important with architecture? Is it important with needing a machine to do what it needs to do and to do it really well? Probably not. But we're architects, or we're architecture students, and we like nice looking things. It's the reason I married my wife. She's beautiful. And great personality, and very kind, loving. Even if she wasn't beautiful, I would have married her, but love you, sweetie. But we're architects. We enjoy well-designed things. But the 2019 one that I have, it was the first model of the 16-inch. That was actually thicker than the previous, I don't know, four years or four, yeah, I think it was previous 4-year models. Because they used to be thicker. People complain they wanted sleeker computers. In my opinion, get a MacBook Air. But for the pros, they made them thinner, which made them overheat easier and have thermal issues because there wasn't enough room for heat to disperse. So when the 16-inch came out, the one that I got, they made it thicker again. Better fan speeds, or larger fans, makes better fan speeds, better cooling. So it made it so it ran better. You have to worry as much about it overheating when you're doing a big render, but it's still very thin. It's still very thin. Not the best venting in my opinion. It can overheat. So I'm always very cautious when I'm doing renders on my Mac. And not cautious in like the stuff I'm doing. Like if I'm doing images, it's easy. I don't have to worry at all. But if I'm going to do a video, which in a lot of these, the videos are going to be, sometimes it says it'll take 40 some hours to do a video, and that's not, you just don't do that. I say it right now, do not do a over 20-hour render on a laptop. You'll just fry your laptop. It's a good chance you'll fry the components in there. Happened to some of my classmates. Okay, so for me, I won't do any renders that take longer than 7 hours. I'm walking through these woods here, and there's like all these spiders like crawling out and around as I step. I hate spiders because I don't want it to ruin my computer. And that's, you know, that can be an issue if you want to do this cool video for a presentation. You know, that kind of limits you. But you know, and a lot of the Windows laptops, they're bulky and thick. They're gaming computers. A lot of my classmates use gaming computers, and they spent about the same amount of money as me, or maybe a little less. And for them, they're more comfortable maybe going 12 hours or something like that. But boy, do those get loud. Macs are really quiet. But does that matter in the long run? Probably not. So reason 3 is not the best cooling. It looks like a makeshift like hut up ahead that someone's living in. This is kind of where people live at times, in these woods. And I've got my dog, and you know, he would most likely just kiss someone to death and like wag his tail. But they don't know that. He's like 100 pounds. And for me, I mean, I'm 6'1", 230, but I'm kind of the same as my dog. I'm not gonna kiss someone to death, but I don't know, I might just hug him to death. I'm going to investigate. So reason number 5, there just isn't a lot of information out there on how to do things on a Mac with architecture programs. You know, if you're running into issues with these programs, you know, that's why I started this channel, is because I couldn't find really anything out there to help me with the questions I had. And there's a lot of times I run into something, run into an issue, and I'm trying to figure it out, and there just isn't a lot out there. I'm all jumpy right now because I'm so close to this thing. Monty, should we turn around? I was. You can see it right back there. Okay, you guys keep an eye out. If someone comes up behind me, let me know. Isn't this beautiful? Look at that. Right down by the Red River. Unfortunately, the river isn't beautiful. It's kind of nasty. No one swims in it. But you fish in it. You walk along it. Come on, bud. We gotta escape before someone comes and gets us. What was I saying? Reason number whatever I just said is there isn't a lot of information out there on how to fix things or do things on your Mac for architecture if you're in boot camp or whatever it may be. So a lot of what I have to do is search for Windows solutions, because technically I am in Windows OS just on my Mac. I feel like I'm on like a Survivor show on like Discovery Channel, or like Hunting Bigfoot. I don't think I would last very long. I think I'd be that commentator, I think I'd be that host that like secretly has a camera crew or his golden retriever with him to help him survive. I think that'd be me. I like the idea of being able to survive and like make it on my own in the woods, but I mean, really, I'm in sweatpants, slip-on walking shoes. I don't think I'd last very long. Reason number 6 is because of the lack of ports on the MacBook Pro, which this is an issue for so many things: photographers, graphic designers, interior designers, I don't know, grandmas, you know, everyone. It's the lack of ports on the MacBook Pro is an issue because, I mean, it's only Type-C or Thunderbolt, and everything that takes that is like expensive, or it's, you don't have as many options, or to get the cheaper ones, they're really cheap and they don't work well. Kind of another thing that makes Macs not the best for architecture. The one part about living in North Dakota is it's always windy. Even on a nice day, it's always windy. So if it's windy and it's hard to hear me, I apologize. All right, reason number 7. Your Mac is going to be almost slower than every other Windows laptop meant for architecture. So whether it's a gaming laptop, whatever it may be, it's just, it is. Mac, they don't have an agreement with NVIDIA, which NVIDIA, in my opinion, is the best graphic cards out there and some of the fastest, at least for like laptops and things like that. And so Macs use AMD, and Radeon is one of their versions, and AMD is just was kind of lagging behind, not with their GPUs in general, but with a GPU that would work inside the Mac, because they had to make a special one that would work inside the MacBook Pro because of the way Apple designed it. So the new graphics cards that you can get in them have been great, but it's only been like the last year and a half, 2 years, and they're really expensive. It's just, you can't upgrade anything. So you can't upgrade like your GPU or anything like that. So the GPUs that are in there are just slower. They're not going to be as fast as your Windows gaming laptops. I have friends that spend less money on their laptop and have a faster machine. Reason number 32. 8. Reason number 8. Just seems like so many reasons. Macs are upgradable. When you open up a Mac, everything's soldered in. A MacBook Pro, everything's soldered in, and Apple will give you their spiel on why this is why we do it. It makes sense. It does this. It's so much better this way. Really, it's so that you have to upgrade your Mac when you want a faster one. I mean, it's smart on a business sense. It just kind of screws everyone else over. So yeah, you can't go in, you can't upgrade your RAM, your GPU, anything like that. And on your gaming computers and non-gaming Windows laptops, so you can upgrade everything. You can put a faster GPU and you can put more RAM and faster RAM. So another reason why not to get a Mac for architecture. Despite all of those reasons why a Mac isn't good for architecture, I still got a Mac for architecture. Yeah, and why is that? Why would I get a Mac for architecture with all of those reasons? You know, honestly, I like it. It's been a great computer for me. I was kind of already embedded in the Mac ecosystem, and it just made sense. It made sense. My wife likes using Macs, so when this computer is done and I'm getting a new one, it would just be our home computer that my wife could use. And I've loved it. It's fast, great battery life, quiet. When I'm not working on architecture, which frankly, you're not always working on architecture, it's just a really nice machine to use. Even when I am working on architecture projects, it's a great machine to use. And you know, my least favorite part about using it is when I'm in Windows OS. I hate being in the Windows operating system. I can do it, it's fine. Like, it's just, you know, it's just a preference. So yeah, I love using my Mac. I think it's great for my needs. Definitely fast enough for what I use it for, and I have a story to tell. but it's not enough time. It's gonna be too long of a video if I tell it right now. But Apple went out of their way to help me out when they didn't need to and probably shouldn't have. And I will tell you that story, how Apple saved me $3,000. So as our walk comes to an end, so does the video. Those are the reasons why, if you're in between and you're indecisive of whether to get a Windows or a Mac for architecture, those are 8 reasons why not to get a Mac for architecture. And they're kind of some big reasons. But if you're like me and you're within the Mac ecosystem and you're like, you know what, I'm okay with those things. I'm okay overlooking them, working around them. And great, get a Mac. I did, and I love it. And you'll see more videos on me using my Mac and more projects. And I've done some great projects in there and it's worked great. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please click the subscribe button if you already haven't, and click the like button too. It helps me out a ton, because hopefully once I get enough subscribers, I'll be able to start doing reviews of whether it be like Apple laptops and how they work with architecture, or different laptops too, because this isn't just an Apple channel. This is an everything architecture channel. I just happen to have an Apple, and all my friends are far away and not available for me to do reviews on their laptops. All right, talk to you guys later.